What would happen if two of Nintendo's best space pilots went toe-to-toe in a battle to determine who would come out on top? Welcome to Smash Bracket, a show dedicated to solving that exact question. If each playable character from the Super Smash Bros. Series was entered into a giant fighting tournament using them at the peak of their strength, who would be victorious? The rules for the series are on screen now, with a link to break them down further in the description below. With all of that in place though, let's take a look at today's match between Falco and Captain Falcon to see who will advance on to the next round of the Smash Bracket and who will be disqualified. Let's get into it.
Falco!
Space, the final frontier where Star Wars fans have lately gathered to have all of their dreams shattered. But one of the most notable space adventuring crews ever is Star Fox, the team of anthropomorphized animal astronauts racing through the stars in order to stop galactic threats. The Star Fox team was founded by the legendary pilot James McCloud and his best friend Peppy O'Hare. Together they established a renowned team of space mercenaries and adventurers for hire, which they named Star Fox. I'm gonna take a wild guess at which one of the founding members named the team. Star Hair just doesn't have the same ring to it. Star Fox is composed of some of the best fighters in the galaxy, and for the right price, the team will go up against any threat to Lilat, their home star system. And they made sure to pull out all of the stops when it came to team composition tropes. They have the flawed but well-intentioned leader, the annoying one, the formidable female, and of course, the loudmouth pilot extraordinaire, who, in the case of Star Fox, is the flying ace, Falco Lombardi. Falco is a member of some bird-like alien race, and despite being unable to fly himself, is the star pilot of the team. In his younger years, he enlisted in the Cornerian Flight Academy, but eventually went rogue and became some sort of freelancing pilot. And after having a falling out with his partner, Kat Monroe, why are all of these characters so cursed to Google? Anyway, after having a falling out with her, he was offered a spot on the Star Fox team. Like many famous pilots, Falco feels most at home in his vehicles and is rarely seen outside of them. That said, in the game Star Fox Assault, we do get some glimpses at what he's capable of on his feet. Now, ordinarily, we wouldn't allow for feats from multiplayer modes, as they tend to not be good indications of a character's actual ability. That said, things are a bit different with this game. Not only is our one source to pull from for physical feats for Falco, but the multiplayer also functions off of the same exact damage engine as the story mode with Fox. Each character has different feats and abilities, and they don't all perform things the exact same way. So we thought that this was the best way to figure out durability, since it's representative of what would happen in the story mode as well. Anyway, back to Falco. He can casually run around 35 miles per hour and can jump up to double his height. And while he doesn't have very many physical strength feats, where he truly shines is his durability. I'm not sure what they're eating in the Star Fox kitchens, but I'll take 20. Falco is able to withstand a charge shot from the tank-like vehicle, the Landmaster, which is capable of doing this. We'll get into it later, but this amounts to roughly the energy force of 1,400 pounds of TNT. He can also take hits from an R-Wing's Charge Blast and Smart Bomb, which are similarly impressive. And this is all without saying that he has the lowest durability out of any of the Star Fox crew. Wait, who has the highest? Slippy. Slippy? Slippy has the... Anyway, back to the video. This physical durability feat sets him up to handle some serious G-force as he soars through the stars in his trusty R-Wing, one of Falco's many vehicles. Weighing in at just under 4,000 pounds and coming in at over 91 feet long and 18 feet tall, these ships are nothing to scoff at. It's worth noting that the scaling of these ships looks a little weird when lined up to characters who are obviously not 90 feet long or 18 feet tall, but when applied everywhere elsewhere in the game with these official statistics, it holds up pretty accurately. So that's what we're going to use for this video and just assume artistic license for how they scale with characters. Anyway, looking at the schematics, we can see that this thing is stuffed to the brim with weaponry, defensive options, and advanced controls. Its boosters can launch the ship to a maximum in-atmosphere speed of Mach 4.2, or 3,222 miles per hour. To put this in perspective, the fastest fighter jet that we have ever made in the real world is the Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird, which tops out at 3.5 times the speed of sound. But it gets even faster. When it leaves the atmosphere and enters through space, it can tap into its maximum speed, which we've calculated to be at Mach 42, or over 32,000 miles per hour. Now, it is important to note that it has never shown the speed in atmosphere, and it likely won't be a factor in a battle unless it's happening in space at high speeds. But this is all just to say that this thing is fast, and Falco is the best in the business when it comes to flying them, outshining the rest of the Star Fox fleet. The R-Wing can also take a serious beating. It can resist temperatures of a molten planet and red star, but it's been claimed by its engineer to withstand temperatures up to 16,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which is around double the surface temperature of the sun. Now, we obviously can't use that number without seeing something to back it up, but it is interesting to note. They're also tough enough to withstand this explosion. But it gets crazier. In this scene, the Arwing crashes into a meteor at its max speed of Mach 42, and it barely takes any damage. It may look underwhelming, but it actually amounts to the force of just over 56 tons of TNT. But its most impressive durability feat happens here when it gets hit by a giant flying bunker. By comparing the bunker's size to that of the Arwing and calculating the speed at which it was thrown, which we found to be 2,206 meters per second, and we assume that this building was 99% empty like most warehouses or bunkers rather than being 100% solid metal, this comes out to a lowballed TNT energy equivalent of 287,816 tons of force. Holy crap. If this force was put into a bomb, this is how it would look compared to the bomb dropped on Hiroshima in World War II. And while this is only a low estimate, it's still a huge number, and the Arwing still doesn't take much damage. Although I guess this kind of durability makes sense when you take into account the rough conditions that these things have to fly through. Asteroid belts, war zones, the public reaction to Star Fox assault, it's had to go through some tough situations. But Falco's vehicle also has a ton of versatility. The Arwing can shift into a pseudo-submarine, but it can also turn into a raptor-like bipedal form when things need to go to the ground. But the Arwing Raptor is far from Falco's only support option on land. He can also call in his Landmaster, a giant tank capable of blowing up this giant building with a charge shot. And I know what you're thinking, Ink, there is no way that this tank can get any cooler. Well, you are dead wrong, because it can also transform into a fighter jet and take to the air while maintaining all of its offensive abilities. Falco is not somebody to be trifled with, unless you have a death wish or a couple of nuclear warheads. But let's check out the other side of his matchup, Captain Falcon.
Captain Falcon!
It's often said that a ship is only as good as its captain, and when your captain is a renowned intergalactic bounty hunter who races across the galaxy at hypersonic speeds, carries around a laser gun, and dresses like this, you are bound to have a pretty extraordinary ship. Captain Falcon, commonly known by his non-canonical full name of Douglas J. Falcon, has spent a lifetime building up his reputation as one of the best bounty hunters in the galaxy, which is a title that doesn't come without its fair share of enemies. In order to stay away from murdery lizardmen with guns, he lives in a remote sanctuary on an island just off the coast of Port Town. But his life isn't all old man Thanos relaxation in the island gardens. Instead, he's dedicated his free time to one thing and one thing only: speed. Captain Falcon decided to hone his driving ability and further establish himself as the best pilot in the galaxy by joining F-Zero, a futuristic race circuit where the best of the best compete for first place. Captain Falcon's choice of vehicle for the race is his signature machine, the Blue Falcon. Not only is this thing stylish, but its speed, strength, and durability are things to be admired as well. So let's go through those one by one, starting with the first category of power, style. Now I know what you're thinking. How on earth is style going to be relevant to a fight with Falco? And that's a very good question. The Blue Falcon is aerodynamic with a slender shape that's only further complemented by its red, white, and blue color scheme. God bless America. Yes! It has the number 7 emblazoned on its wings and front for a total of 3 instances of the number, using it as a way to remind you that this car is the freaking jackpot. And it takes a real machine to stand up to Captain Falcon's sheer style and dominating presence. It's not like you could see Captain Falcon driving around in some rinky-dink 80s hot rod muscle car. That thing wouldn't last a second. Anyway, this is a cool car. I promise you it's relevant to the fight. Totally. Let's take a look at its speed. The official game manual and wiki for F-Zero says that the Blue Falcon's top speed is about 280 miles per hour. But in gameplay, the ship can reach nearly 3 times the speed of sound. The speed is also a very useful metric for us to figure out the ship's durability and strength. The Blue Falcon can survive crashing into walls at top speed, which might not seem that impressive because it happens so fast and is easy to miss, but it's actually capable of some serious force. Car crashes at standard Earth speeds are dangerous, but when you kick that up by a power of 100, it becomes truly lethal. It's also durable enough to use explosive landmines strong enough to destroy a tank as a fun way to boost itself forward rather than, being obliterated. When used offensively, the Blue Falcon's speed and durability can do some serious damage as well. It's able to quickly spin around to ram into other drivers, hitting them like a giant missile at Mach 3. And all of this would be impossible without the Blue Falcon's machine power, a mechanic that allows the car to boost its speed and protect itself. While it does provide incredible power, taking a few hits or using it to boost can cause its power to be totally drained, leaving the car vulnerable and easy to be destroyed unless it can refuel. Many people will also mention that the car's reactor contains a piece of the Big Bang, which, real fast, isn't everything a piece of the Big Bang by definition? Anyway, this claim doesn't really hold any water on its own. We can use it to back up feats, but we can't just assume that Captain Falcon's car is, I don't even know, able to make a tiny, more stylish universe? Something this ambiguous really needs feats to be able to make anything meaningful out of it. But enough about the ship, let's talk about the man of the hour himself, Captain Falcon. Although he's rarely seen outside of his ship, he's fast enough to blitz these two robots and instantly disable them. Faster than eyesight speeds are notoriously difficult to pinpoint because they're affected by a ton of variables, but he's obviously going fast enough to easily surprise everyone in the room. And he's also repeated similar feats of speed and strength in the manga, where he quickly took out these bodyguards. Captain Falcon possesses incredible skill as well, being accurate enough with his car to measure the exact speed and angle to knock this bomb off of its roof, which at the very least was around 435 miles per hour. He was likely going much faster though. And his skills aren't just limited to the racetrack either. He's been shown to be competent at space travel with his starship, the Falcon Flyer, which we can see make a cameo in Super Smash Bros. You don't get to be the galaxy's greatest bounty hunter without some hidden talents up your sleeve, such as Captain Falcon's signature move, the Falcon Punch. Now you might be surprised to learn that this move was only ever canonically used once, and even then it was in the anime rather than the mainline games, which operates off of a separate timeline, but due to its presence in Super Smash Bros. And the fact that there's no freaking way I'm making a Captain Falcon battle without talking about a Falcon Punch, we are including it in this video. This clip makes the punch look really impressive, but it's important to contextualize what's happening here. The explosion that you see on screen isn't a result of his punch, rather it's a result of a reactor that's already exploding. And while this lightning coming out around his fist looks super impressive, it's likely only cosmetic, since it doesn't actually deal any damage, and Captain Falcon isn't punching anywhere near hard enough to generate lightning, which we can find by comparing the speed that Black Shadow is rising to the rate that Captain Falcon is falling. They're moving at the exact same speed. When the punch connects, they both stop moving for a second before falling together. This means that the punch had exactly enough force to cancel out Black Shadow's rising momentum, but no more. Even if we assume that Captain Falcon could jump hard enough to be moving at 10 times the speed of gravity to get to this punch, which would be a very generous assumption to make given what's shown, this would mean that Captain Falcon is only punching with a force equivalent to about 135 grams of TNT. And most of this force is likely coming from his fall, not his fist. So in my opinion, the Falcon Punch is less an indicator of Captain Falcon's strength, and more so his very best style feat of all, which is disappointing. But from the shores of Port Town to the farthest reaches of the galaxy, Captain Falcon is not somebody to be taken lightly. But with all of that said and done, let's get into the fight and see who will be disqualified and who will advance on to the next round of the Smash Bracket. But first, do you want to choose a Smash Bracket animation to go on the channel? We're currently running a Kickstarter for Smash Bracket to try to fund the series. And as a promotion for that, we're doing a giveaway for the rights to choose any 2-minute battle between any characters of your choice to be animated and put on the channel. They don't even have to just be Smash characters. I personally would choose Koro Sensei versus All Might because that's the coolest fight I've ever heard of, but if there's ever been a matchup that you've always wanted to see, now is your chance to make it happen. Click the giveaway link in the description below for a chance to win. And while you're there, if you want to help keep Smash Bracket alive and keep the series going, please consider supporting our Kickstarter campaign. There are rewards for as low as $1, as well as non-monetary ways to support the campaign for those of you who can't spare any money. Thank you so much for your support, and best of luck in the giveaway. I'm excited to see what you come up with. But with all of that out of the way, let's get into the fight and find out who will advance on to the next round of the Smash Bracket.
Yes! Hands off my prey! Come on! Yes! Yes!
Trust your instinct!
These guys are tough.
Personally, I prefer the air. Falcon!
Showtime!
Whoa! You want a piece of...
Yes!
Time for a little payback.
And there you go! This was such an interesting matchup from start to finish. Both characters were ace pilots in space, renowned mercenaries and bounty hunters, and their names are even similar. When it came down to the wire though, Captain Falcon and his machines just couldn't hold up. Even if we were incredibly generous with the Falcon Punch's measurements or attempted to scale his strength to other admittedly difficult to measure characters like Black Shadow, it just wasn't anywhere close to what he would need to hurt Falco, who's capable of surviving shots from the Landmaster. While there is one claim in F-Zero GX that Captain Falcon's belt buckle holds the power of the universe and could destroy a galaxy, this claim was never backed up or substantiated by feats, so we can't really measure it or consider it here. Merely bragging about a feat is not enough for Smash Bracket. Captain Falcon may very well be physically faster than Falco, but that just wasn't enough to close the gap between the two. And that gap grows even wider when you look at the differences between their vehicles. The Blue Falcon paled in every single measurable way. Not to mention that ships like the R-Wing are specifically built for taking out other powerful vehicles. The Blue Falcon's collision durability was impressive for sure. It was around the equivalent of 350 pounds of TNT going off. But the R-Wing is just built different. You know that clip of the ship being hit by the bunker warehouse thingy? That would be the equivalent of being hit simultaneously in real life by 8 blue whales, who were thrown at Mach 8. In the end, Falco's arsenal of machinery and weapons were just too much for Falcon to handle. Falco Lombardi is the winner and will be moving on to the next round of the Smash Bracket. Next time on the Smash Bracket.
What is this power?
Lucina versus